Hey guys, I'm Amy and you've landed on Belle Loves Bargains. That's my cow Effingham, and sometimes he co-hosts with me. He's got a lot to say. This channel is Dollar Tree and only Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25, people. So stick around, consider subscribing, and don't forget to give me that big thumbs up. And if you want to know more about the 4 uploads I do every week, just check out the description box for more information. Enjoy! Well, we're moving on up.
Moving on up.
To the east side.
Moving on up.
To a New York apartment in the sky. We're moving on up.
Moving on up.
To the east side.
Moving on up.
'Cause we finally got a piece of the pie. Oh, fish don't fry in the kitchen. Beans don't burn on the grill. It took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. And now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, we're moving on up.
Moving on up.
To the east side.
Moving on up.
To a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up.
Moving on up.
To the east side.
Moving on up.
'Cause we finally got a piece of the pie. Okay, guys, hey, welcome to Belle's Bargains. I'm on a TV theme kick right now. Oh, gosh, a couple of you requested that one, so I had to throw the Jeffersons in there. And besides that, Marcus is in here cooking our lunches for this week, so I figured I might as well sing one that he could pop in on. All right, guys, hey, today's a really special day because today I am doing the challenge that's called Here's Your Crown. Oh, my gosh. I know. I didn't get a crown. Effingham, where is my crown? I forgot to get a crown. Well, that was silly. I'm sorry, Effingham. I did not bring a crown, but that's okay because we're not crowning me today. This video is about me crowning another crafter. So this is a really fun challenge. All right, for those of you that are just joining me from the playlist and you've never been on this channel before, I got to tell you just a few things. Just a couple things. Most importantly, this channel is... What is it, Effingham? Dollar Tree, and only Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25, people. So, all right. So that I do hauls, I do challenges, I do crafts, obviously, and we do food tasting, and everything is Dollar Tree. All my supplies for my crafts are Dollar Tree. So this one's kind of important because all the crafts that I made today are all Dollar Tree supplies. All right. So let me just talk a little bit about this challenge. I took a picture so I could show you guys the challenge. But I don't have it up because I had the lyrics up to Moving On Up. Of course I did, right? We're moving on up.
Moving on up.
To the east side.
Moving on up.
All right. So today's challenge is Here's Your Crown. And it is brought to us by Connie's Creative Creations. Oh, my. You stupid light. Anyway, and... 6 kids and a glue gun, which I think is the funniest name. Okay. 2 really, really great ladies that I've only recently been introduced to via Instagram and doing being on challenges with them. They're both very, very nice, and I'm super appreciative that I get to be on this challenge. So it's brought to us by them. They're hosting it. So that's Connie's Creative Creations, 6 kids and a glue gun. So their channels are going to be linked down below, as well as the playlist. My glasses are so dirty. The playlist for this challenge is also linked down below. But the most important thing is the crafter that I am crowning today, and I'm super excited to do so, is the Crafty Quinn. Megan is her name, the Crafty Quinn, and she is a phenomenally nice person. So she used to do challenges on her channel, and I did quite a few of them on her channel, which is how I got to know her. But the way I really got to know Megan was I was trying to learn Instagram, and I put something out on Instagram, and I had my YouTube link, and she messages me, and she goes, you know that the YouTube link won't go through there. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so nice for telling me that. Anyway, long story short, Megan and I had some private sessions, FaceTiming, and she taught me so much about social media, and I'm so very grateful. Up until that point, I didn't even have tags on my YouTube videos. That's how little I knew. I just like making the videos. Okay, so thank you, Megan, the Crafty Quinn. And also, I really love her crafts. She I would say her style is mostly farmhouse, but occasionally there'll be something a little more boho in there. Anyway, I do like her stuff. So what I did was I picked 3 of her crafts, and I am linking the videos of her original crafts down below, as well as her channel link, so you can go visit Megan at the Crafty Quinn. And when you do, please tell her that I sent you over. I did, of course, ask permission to use some of her crafts to, of course, did my own spin on them, but was completely inspired by what she did. All right, so the first, I'm gonna show you what I did, and then you guys can watch how I made them. But the first one that she did was, that I copied, I should say, is this one. Oh, that stupid light. I need to turn that, let's turn that light off momentarily, just so it's not giving us the glare. Boop, off. It's not going off, off. Sometimes this thing does not want to work. There you go, off. Okay, it's off. So now we won't get the glare. Anyway, this was the piece that Megan did, and also I'll be showing it in the video later on, but I just wanted to show you right now. So she did that, and I thought it was really, really beautiful, and I really, really liked it. But I thought what I would do was do my own spin on it. So she used some sprigs, like it was, you know, just a pressing of some leaves, which I love the idea. So I copied it, but I did it with my own spin, and instead I did a pressing of like a sweet little bouquet. This was hard, by the way, to get in there. All right, so this is how she did it, and then I copied her format and just changed it a little bit. She got 2 picture frames and 2 canvases, so that you deconstructed the canvas, so you had the wood frame and then the glass from the 2 frames, and she put the 2 pieces of glass together and then put a frame on either side, pressing those leaves in there. Well, because I was doing something a little bit wider, I did glass on the back of this frame, and then frame, and then mine goes glass frame, so that I had a space the same width as a frame in there to put my bouquet in. And I thought, like, I could have put something sweet in there, like a cute little, hi honey, like a cute little note in there with a special date or something. But I just wanted to show, like, you remember when you were a kid, did you ever press flowers in your Bible or in a book that you were reading or something? I did do that. And I remember, like, I think in my baby book, my mom had pressed a flower or something. I thought it was really cool. She used saran wrap and pressed a flower in my baby book. Did you ever see those pressed flowers when you were a kid in a book? Did your mom ever press flowers like in a book? Yeah. So anyway, so I really like the idea, and I just did it. I gave it my own twist and put a bouquet in there and changed the lineup. So hers was frame, glass, frame. Mine's glass, frame, so that I had that space in there. So anyway, Megan, I hope I copied you proud, and I gave it just a little bit of a twist. Okay, so that was the first one, and I really like it. It's super sweet. And I gotta tell you guys, I did not stain I did stain my frames, but I used the natural stain, and I show in the video the stain that I used on there because I really like the natural element of the wood. Okay, then the next one that she did that I was inspired by was this one, and it is the church windows. Now, I decided to do this because the church windows are back out right now. They're so pretty, I love them. And there's so many different things that you can do with them. So if you, there's a message. When you watch her video, as you can see from this, she takes that and she paints it that chalk, seafoam chalk green is what I would call it. She says the color, I don't know what it is. But you guys remember, I only use Dollar Tree supplies. So I could have made a chalk paint out of one of the acrylics by adding baking powder or whatever. I didn't. I decided to go a completely different route. And you know I love furniture markers, so I took a white one of the frame. It was white. And I used furniture markers and made it look like wood. So isn't that pretty cool? And then what I did was I used a wrapping paper and I Mod Podged tissue paper over it to diffuse the color slightly and make it look more almost like frosted, almost like a stained glass window. I absolutely love this. I should link down below a video where I did a church window like this and I made it light up in the back. It was really pretty. It was Easter last year. Anyway, okay, so I took hers, which I love. I should have done this with the last one, showed you guys like side by side. So there's hers and there is mine. So thank you for the inspiration. I really love it. And then, and actually I'll do that with this one too. There's hers and there is mine. So then the last one of Megan's that I did, which I really, really, really loved, is this one. And she took the they're like the green frames and put a beaded, hanger on it. And then it looks like the wreath from the home and the love signs, I think is what she used there. Okay, so I didn't have the 4 frames, those green frames. What I did have was something that I bought these exactly to do something like this with. Well, then when I saw her piece, I was like totally inspired to go use those. So I did a twist on it and I used the 4 little copper frames and I made them look patinaed. So I gotta tell you guys, the way I patinaed these was I took black chalk paint. You'll see it in the video. I took black chalk paint and first of all, I sanded them some. I sanded them and then put black chalk paint and rubbed it in because it would stick in wherever it was sanded. Then I used a green furniture marker, which you can't really tell here, but I added not furniture marker, green glass marker to try and put some patina in there. Anyway, I love how this looks. I took the pictures that they sell with the beaded hanger. I just took that off of one of them and put it on this. And instead of doing a wreath, I did what do you call these? A bow of flowers, right? On the top of it. And so just slightly different, but so inspired by Megan. So there's the 2 of them side by side, completely different. Absolutely love how mine came out. I loved hers. And so it was fun just to take the whole idea and just give it my own little twist. I'm curious which one is your favorite, you guys. Please let me know which one is your favorite. I can't decide, but I think that this is my favorite just because it looks this looks so much like wood. And by the way, what I did, I should explain this. So furniture marker, you'll see in the video, I furniture marker the whole thing with a walnut, I think it is. Then I take the black marker, furniture marker, and I hid all of my crevices, right? Because old wood windows will be really dark in the seamed creviced areas, the corners and all that, just to make it look like it was aged. And then put some black in different spots on here. And then when it dried, I Mod Podged the whole thing so that this does not wipe off. By the way, the grain on this sort of plastic frame is almost wood-like too. Can you guys see that? There's like a grain in the plastic. So it worked out perfect. I really am in love with this. I want to do a couple of more so it could be like a backdrop on a on a shelf to put stuff in front of. Anyway, maybe I will because I really like how this turned out. All right, so tell me which one was your favorite. Again, Megan the Crafty Quinn, thank you so much for the inspiration. I hand you the crown. Here we go. Boop, you've been crowned, Megan. Thank you, by the way, also for your amazing friendship as a fellow crafter. I really, really, really appreciate you. All right, so the funny part about Megan, too, is she has a cat that crafts with her, and his name is Marcus. Yeah. I have a husband that crafts with me, and his name is Marcus, and sometimes he just randomly shows up in videos, much like her cat. So anyway, okay, so this is a fun challenge. Thank you again to Connie from Connie's Creations and 6 Kids in a Glue Gun, which I think is so funny. Anyway, okay, so there you have it. It was fun. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the video watching how I did these. And Effingham, I know you did not make it on film today. I'm sorry, but I hope you had fun watching me make all those though, Effingham. All right, and if you even are slightly thinking about it, please subscribe, stick around, come back and visit us. We have so much fun on this channel. It's really a hoot. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and please leave a comment. And thank you guys once again for watching and thank you for letting me be a part of this challenge. I love you, Megan. Thanks for being my inspiration. Wear that crown proudly. Enjoy the rest of the video. Have a great day, great week, a great life. And as always, from your singing crafty crafter. Happy hunting at your local Dollar Tree. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, so this one is this. So Megan made this really pretty piece and it's so cool. So I'm gonna give my own twist to it. She took two canvases because we want the frames from the canvases, and then two, picture frames because we want the glass. I think I have the right size. Anyway, so she's on hers. She put like fern leaves. Oh, it went upside down. I don't know why. And I'm going to do something just slightly. My light, you guys, is so bad, huh? Because of the reflection. Anyway, I'm going to put something different. I'm going to do like, you got a sweet little bouquet from a sweetheart that you want to keep under wraps forever. So, the same, but different. These canvases can be so hard to get off of their frames. Those staple things, whatever they are. Anyway, they're hard to get out of there. But with a little elbow grease, got those all uncovered. Now, when I uncovered them, I really liked the natural look of these, so I didn't want to take away from that, but I also wanted to make sure that I sealed them. So I ended up pulling out the natural wood stain that I got at the Dollar Tree, I don't know, a couple months ago, and it works amazing. It's that Varathane gel stain. Varathane gel stain. Okay, anyway, so I put that on those and just used a paper towel to wipe it on there. You can see it doesn't really change the color at all. It's just a stain to sort of seal it in. So I do both frames and then let those dry and then pull together my little bouquet. I'm using those picks that I absolutely love. You know, these are like my favorite, I tell you. They're out right now. Now's the time to try and find them, but they can be hard to find. So I just pulled together some different sprigs and a couple of little blooms, and just like two yellow, one purple long one, and a couple of little darker purple ones. I just knot it together with jute twine and wrap that around a few times. And then I made a bow out of that lace ribbon, but I didn't really tie it. I just sort of formed the bow and then tied it with that jute twine. I was trying to make it be as little amount of space as possible. Now this is where I was like, okay, can I just squash it between two panes of glass? And I tried really hard to get my flowers the way I wanted them. Anyway, in the end, I get it between the two panes of glass. I think I grabbed a rubber band to hold it there and glue it, and I sort of manipulate the stuff inside of there. But it doesn't work. So I glue down this pane and notice that that's the back side of the frame, because I figure it's not going to show because I'm going to glue these two together. And I get my clean the glass up a little bit, get the little bouquet in there, trying to get it the way I want it. So I was trying to glue the tops of those yellow flowers so that they were facing up. And just manipulate them a little bit when they're in there. And then I sort of get it to stay down. Now this is when it was glass to glass, but that does not work in the end. So I took a little bit of time. I was trying to get it all glued together. It just did not work. I'm not gonna lie. So even after I got it all glued together, it wasn't going to stay together because the pressure from this little bouquet was just too great. So I ended up pulling it apart. See, I'm trying to get it to work there, but I pulled it apart. Took all the glue off, and it's like, I'm not using my head. And you just make a space in there. So I just reversed it. I turned that frame around and got my little bouquet in there, glued the heads of the flowers down one more time so they would be facing up. And then, bam, Now I've got it, and it worked perfect. So then I took the ribbon, that lace ribbon, and this was just a nice way, I thought, to finish the edge, because of course I have glass on that back side, and so it worked perfect. And I actually thought that was kind of a cute little touch on it. So all done. I hope you guys like this one. Thanks, Megan, for the inspiration. This one is, Megan made this, which is super cute, the little picture frames, and it's like a little window. But I'm gonna use these copper frames. And then I have one of these, I'm gonna steal the wooden hanger from it. And of course, my favorite floral picks, which I will make a wreath for the middle. But I think I'm also gonna take my chalkboard paint and maybe distress my copper a little bit. Open all of these up, remove everything out of them. So glass and everything. I went to do the chalk paint and I was like, oh no, I really need to sand these first, because roughing it up just a little bit just meant that the chalk paint was gonna stick better. So I just go around and sanded them all. I mean, this is just a copper coating on there, right? So when you sand it off, you'll get white. But I knew I was gonna put the black on there. So I was just careful not to sand too hard, but also just to rough the shiny part up. And then after I do that, I just took some chalk paint and a paper towel and just sort of rubbed it around there. And it did work perfectly. This just looks like really distressed aged copper. Then after that, I was like, okay, that looks really good, but I really wanted to try and get some green in there like patina. So I took my glass paint marker, there's the green glass paint marker, and just did some areas with some green and sort of rubbed it in, put a little more black paint over some of those areas. And it did work. You can't really see it on film. In person you can. But I'm a firm believer that some details, although very small, you pick up on, even though you're not recognizing them individually in that moment. Okay, so I get my little patina on there, which I wish they had more copper pieces, because I would do this with more of them. I ended up really loving the look of this. And then I just start gluing them together. So you line them up first to make sure that they fit the best. Obviously there's some variation in these little frames a little bit. So I glued two together and then glued the two sides together. Super easy, just glue. That's all you needed. And then, because you know I hate to waste. Oh yeah, I'm removing the tabs where the glass goes. I took the glass and glued it back in there because I actually liked that look. I thought it was pretty, I don't know, it just made it look more like a window. So that's optional. You do not have to glue the glass back in. But then I used the hangers that I took off the back and cut some black strips to be my keep it together pieces like we use popsicle sticks for. Now I'm going to take that hanger off of this little sign and I'm just going to glue it on the back of this. It was the perfect size, and there's those little ridges on the back side of these frames, so I just sort of tapped it inside there and then took two more strips of my pieces that were trash, but now I'm going to use as much of them as I can, and glued those on there. Again, just making sure that everything stayed together. And it worked perfect, and I like the look. Now this is where I deviate from what she did completely, because Megan did a wreath, which is very pretty, but I decided that I really wanted to do a bow on top of the window, much like I do in the holidays. I'll do this a lot of my own personal windows in the house. So I just did my favorite picks again and just pulled them pieces out of them and put that together. But this is a piece of wax paper, and I put a glob of glue. It's a good trick, you guys. And then I just sort of made my arrangement on the wax paper so I could get the pieces where I wanted them to be and not this massive hot glue pile up on my craft item, because you know how that always ends up. And so it worked. By doing it on the wax paper, I got my glob and my thing together. Now it's all glued together already, and I just glue it directly onto there. Didn't have a bunch of glue strings, didn't have a bunch of anything. It's a great little trick, you guys. And then put my bow on, and we're done. And I think this is very pretty. So I hope you guys like this one too. Do you like my new backdrop too? I made my new backdrop. I need better lighting now though. use this, and I'm going to copy. This is Crafty Quinn's, and it's really beautiful. I'm going to give it my own spin, and I'm going to use, obviously the same thing, the church window. I'm actually going to use some wrapping paper, and I'm going to give it just a tiny little bit different spin. So, here we go. As I said, these are back in stock now, and they're so fun to work with. Okay, so first pop the sign off, and you've got it, like, there's like a little ridge of plastic there almost. So I used my sanding block and just sort of sanded that down a little bit just to make it more smooth. And then obviously you have to unscrew the back from this because I've got to put my window paper in there. Then I'm using walnut. You could use any color that you want on the furniture markers. I just really liked the look of this, and I was going for a darker look. I went and got a new one because the old one was running low. I just go over the whole thing, not necessarily with any intent of direction, but some kind of. So when the furniture marker dries on here, it'll almost wipe off. So you had to be sort of careful. And this is where it really made it look like wood, just by adding these elements of the darker, just like a really old church window. And again, I just did it in like the crevices, all the corners and all the crevices at first. So I did the black, and then I would take the brown and go over it because it would blend it in, and it worked amazing, you guys. It just sort of blended that black in. And then I continued adding black. I think I put it like all the way around the edges and some spots on the wood, just because it looks so, I can't believe how good this looks. This is my favorite piece just because the faux wood painting looked so amazing. Anyway, when that was all done, I told you I let it dry, and then I completely Mod Podged the whole thing because I wanted that marker paint to set in. Doesn't that look so good? Oh my gosh, I'm going to do some more like that because I just absolutely loved it. So I cut out my first piece only to realize that there was a rip in the paper, so I had to throw that one away and get a new one. But see how bright these colors are? And I was like, I loved the pattern, I loved the colors, but it was so bright, and I was like, I really would love to subdue those slightly. And so, like I said, I took tissue paper and Mod Podged over that. I think I'm going to show you here in a minute. Alright, so Mod Podging over all of that stain. It worked perfect. This is so sealed now. This is my favorite piece. And I'm definitely going to do more of these. Like I said, I would love to put 3 of them together. So I will do some more. Anyway, that was it for the frame part of it. But now I'm going to show you what I did with the paper window part. So I took a little tissue paper and Mod Podged over this this paper, and it subdues it just enough that I think I really like it. So I'm going to take the piece that I have cut out for this, and I'm just going to Mod Podge it with some tissue paper. Pretty simple, because I'm just going to, so I'm going to do that right now. And the only thing about this is that tissue paper is easily rips and whatnot, so just take your time with it. I squirted water down on the paper first because that really helps lay the tissue paper down, and then Mod Podged on top. And I went back to it numerous times and just sort of brushed out the wrinkles. It wasn't too bad, actually. And you're putting it in that frame, so it's not like you're getting like this super close-up, investigate all the wrinkles in it kind of look with it, right? Because it's going behind the window. But do you see how that really just brought that down and softened up that paper? It's a great little trick. And then I just put it all back together. I thought about putting a cross on the front of it. I thought about doing, and I was like, no, it is perfect just the way it is. So, which one was your favorite, you guys? This is definitely my favorite. I hope you liked them all. Thanks again to Megan for making the beautiful crafts that I could, that inspired me. And of course, here's your crown again, Megan. Thank you so much. It was a blast.